Hey you geniuses out there, this is Rajiv and I welcome you back to this channel Dissecting Atoms. Here, in this channel, I try to decode the various wonders of life by discussing various topics associated with life sciences. And if you like my efforts of bringing life onto your mobile screen, then please do like, share and subscribe. Previously in this channel, we have decoded a handful of life wonders ranging from DNA replication in the eukaryotes, DNA replication in the prokaryotes, various molecules, various proteins, various enzymes associated in this particular process, and also we have seen that there are various molecules that come up with their own limitations, with their own shortcomings. But to our wonder, there are various other molecules which are ever ready to help these molecules with their own shortcomings so that nothing becomes a stumbling block in the journey of achieving a wonderful engineering feat. Now, there is a lot to learn from the molecular world. Say, for example, we know it very well that the DNA polymerases have got its own very limitations. For example, it requires a 3' OH end for its polymerase activity to begin. It requires helicase to open up the template strands. It requires the topoisomerase and so on. But these molecules which I have mentioned right now, ranging from primase, helicase, topoisomerase, they're very much keen to help the DNA polymerase to achieve its own engineering feat. Now, in this way, in the world, in the human world, if we understand that no one is perfect and try to help each and every one in our own little ways, don't you think this world is going to be a much more better place to thrive with a very smiling face? So in this way, we have got a lot to learn from the realms of the molecular world, where each and every molecule, though very much aware of the inadequacies of the other molecule, but still they coexist together and they are ever ready to help each other whenever the need arises. Now, in this way, we are going to understand and analyze yet another problem that occurs at the end of the replication phase, which is known as the end replication problem. But before heading towards this problem and the solution to this problem, which is also a very beautiful thing to analyze, you need to understand that this problem, which I am referring to as the end replication problem, do occur only in the linear form of genetic material, not in the circular form of genetic material. Now, without wasting any other time, let's begin and analyze this beautiful process known as the solution of the end replication problem. So let's begin. Now let's begin to understand as to why the end replication problem only do occur at a lagging strand of the linear form of genetic material and not why at the lagging strand of the circular form of genetic material. But before proceeding ahead with this, we need to understand, that is, we need to have the basics of what actually is the end replication problem. Now, in order to understand this, you need to understand it in this particular way, that basically during the removal of the primers from the newly synthesized lagging strand, most of the gaps are fulfilled by the combined action of DNA polymerase and ligase, as there are 3' OH end available for the DNA polymerase to work upon. But at the end, there occurs a point where, after removal of the primer, there a huge gap remains which cannot be sealed by the DNA polymerase, as it doesn't have the support of 3' OH at that particular position after the removal of the primer. And if this remains unsealed, then after every other round of replication, the DNA strand will become shorter and shorter by the telomeric end, which after some time will completely erode the telomeric sequences, and that would mean that no further replication will take place, thus ending the replicative life of that particular cell, thereby the cell entering into a replicative senescence period. Now, this inevitable problem where after the removal of the primer, as there is no 3' OH for the DNA polymerase to act upon, a huge gap in the newly synthesized lagging strand remains is what is known as the end replication problem. Now, having understood about the end replication problem and bits, let's take a step ahead and analyze as to why this very end replication problem is so prevalent in case of linear form of genetic material and not so in case of the circular form of the genetic material. Where in the circular form of the genetic material we do have the Okazaki fragments from where the primer needs to be removed, and after the removal of the primer there occurs a gap which needs to be sealed too by the DNA polymerases, which is very much equivalent to the events that occur during the replicatory phase in the linear form of DNA. Then why in case of the circular form of genetic material this sort of problem known as the end replication problem do not occur? Let's find out the reason. Now, as you can see in the picture, during the end phase of the replicatory process there are Okazaki fragments from where the primer needs to be removed, and after the removal of the primer there occurs a gap. Now, along with the occurrence of the gap there occurs a new 3' OH end and the 5' OH end, and the DNA polymerase is very happy in this particular stage because at this particular stage after the removal of the primer it has got the 3' OH end from where it can elongate the DNA polymerization and fill up the gap. And since 3' OH in case of the circular genetic material is already available for the DNA polymerase to work upon, therefore no such gap remains unsealed. Thus, the end replication problem does not occur in case of the circular form of the genetic material. And I hope now you guys have understood that why the end replication problem does not occur in the circular form of the genetic material. Now, since we have understood as to why the end replication problem does not occur in the circular form of the genetic material, therefore it's time for us to take a step ahead in our journey of understanding the solutions to eradicate the end replication problem that does occur in the linear form of the genetic material. I mentioned at the start of this lecture that in the molecular rooms of life, any molecule that faces any sort of problems, there are other molecules which comes into their aid and help them to overcome their obstacles. Now, in the same way, the DNA replicase or the DNA polymerase that do face a problem known as the end replication problem because of the inavailability of the 3' OH end at the lagging strand. Therefore, a molecule known as the telomerase comes in to the aid of the DNA polymerase molecule. Now, let us understand what actually are the telomerase. The telomerase is basically an enzyme which is a ribonucleoprotein that contains certain units of tandemly repeated non-coding RNA sequences, and the amount of this tandemly repeated non-coding RNA sequences varies from species to species. And along with these repeated non-coding RNA sequences, the telomerase also do contain a protein component which resembles a reverse transcriptase in their functionality. Now, since we have understood about the telomerase, let's move ahead. Keen to know that how a reverse transcriptase function, then in short I would like to say that reverse transcriptase is an unique enzyme which holds the potential of synthesizing DNA molecule from an RNA template strand. Understanding the functionality of the telomerase enzyme, it is ideally obvious that we will think that the telomerase will elongate the newly synthesized lagging strand which after the removal of the primer was left behind with a gap which the DNA polymerase was unable to fill up as there was no 3' OH end. But my friends, the telomerase has its own range of ideas. It rather prefers elongating the parental template strand which was already at good length. Strange, right? The telomerase, by recognizing some guanosine repeats present at the end of the parental template strand, attaches itself to it, and with the help of the combined effort of the DNA template and reverse transcriptase activity, the telomerase starts elongating the parental template strand. And after elongating the parental template strand to a sufficient amount, it then recruits a primer for the newly synthesized lagging strand, which is crying out for help. Now, with the help of DNA polymerase delta and epsilon, after the recruitment of the primer, the shortened lagging strand is elongated to a sufficient length, and thereafter the primer is removed. Now here, though a gap is created after the removal of the primer, it is a very insignificant gap, as the gap which was previously created was supposed to erode the telomeric sequences. But with the action of the telomeric sequences has now been extended to such a length that even after the removal of the primer, the gap which has been created will not affect the integrity of the genetic material. And thus how one of the very inevitable problem is solved by another magical molecule known as the telomerase. If you have understood this wonderful concept, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much for your warm patience.